You know, if it's going in one different direction. Most of the time, I'm working with the conductor.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes.
And the conductor for the ensemble.
I work with several conductors.
And are these a kind of conductions? Like
No, they're not conductions.
Yeah, because that's the Butch Morris concept.
Because what?
That's the Butch Morris concept.
No, I don't. Yeah, that is a Butch Morris concept. Yeah.
Yeah. But these conductions. So what does the conductor do?
Well, did you ask Butch Morris that question?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
You should ask him because that's his system. He has a whole book out on it.
I know.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I read it, and he
Okay.
was here for 1 week doing a project on the conservatory. But
Okay.
no. So yeah, I work with that. No. But I was wondering, what does the conductor do in your work?
It conducts the music that's on the score.
Yeah, I wasn't there in the first.
Yeah, well.
And,
It's my fault, you're keeping up with my career. I'll always remember the piece you played for tenor saxophone and 2 pianos, though.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll always remember that,
Okay, good.
you know. And there's a connection somewhere for us, I mean, because we've been friends for a long time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
no.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but people see me here a lot, and
Right.
you never. So let's keep the focus on you.
No, okay, yeah, but I mean, you know, hey, go ahead, Peter, I mean.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no,
Trying.
but for me, music, improvisation is about unpredictability. And when there's no unpredictability, I want to create and destabilize a situation. How do you feel? Because that seems to be quite contrary to how you just explained your view on.
I mean, how do you explain your view? Because I want to hear what what was it?
Unpredictability.
Oh, okay. What is that?
Unpredictability is when there's suddenly a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you can do that? You can create a surprise every few minutes?
It's difficult.
Okay.
But how do you create a surprise? Well, you might have somebody talks about a conversation, just a dialogue. You spoke about a dialogue also.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have let's say a normal dialogue, some people seem to understand each other. You can pose a difficulty that the other part is not understanding what you are doing and tries to find a solution. Because there's also this theory. I saw your talk on CTN 2018 with George on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, and George is of course George Loos. Sorry, he's an academic, and so he talks in a very academic way, I would say. Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen George he said to me one time, man, I'm so tired of talking. I couldn't believe he was saying that. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, continue.
I can imagine. Yeah.
This is nice. This is almost like a comedy show. I love it.
Yeah, there's this theory that George was talking about. Okay, listen, man. There's a lot of improvisation in normal life. Also, there's this whole Canada project about how to see improvisation in legal affairs and whatever. Different disciplines, management, whatever. So when you see, and then they say improvisation in daily life, should music reflect improvisation in daily life? What do you think?
Well, I think, you know, a lot of people are improvising just to live, you know. I mean, so they're good at it, you know. And music in everyday life, it's fine. Yeah, sure. I say, you know, there are people that are constantly left to improvise, you know. So, and that always happens. Like, okay, what happened? Okay, the music was taken out of the schools, right? So people started to come up with this other method of making music, you know. So it can, you know, put you in that kind of a position to come up with another invention there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So surprises in life. Can you compare them with surprises in a performance situation?
Well, I'm still waiting on you to explain to me what a surprise is.
Okay, well, I once had a conversation with George about it, and he said, well, a surprise is when McCoy Tyner is suddenly playing like a Rogana, for instance. Okay. For me, that's not a surprise, because for me, it could mean that McCoy Tyner is able to play like a Rogana. So, for me, the surprise is the moment that something unexpected happens. But for you, there doesn't seem to be the possibility of a surprise in music. Does it exist for you?
Well, you know, what I find with music, you work real hard on it, and then some nights you can go out there and do no wrong, you know. But 99% of the time, you're still working, you know, on a lot of different things that you're doing, you know. It works better for me if I can isolate the things I want to work on and then figure out a way of working on it.
And do you, what you are personally working on, can you exploit that in the ensemble enough for your feeling?
Well, let's just say that we're working on that on this tour. We're using this opportunity to work on development as a group, you know, that we're able to create in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so another subject, if you allow me.
Of course.
This is a community of improvisers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice people, all nice people, totally dedicated. So what would you advise to the younger generation, besides play together, rehearse, or how can you create, because I think the Chicago scene is a real community, isn't it?
Yes,
Am I right?
It is a community. Yeah. I encourage young people to really roll up their sleeves and work together and stuff like that. Create groups like the ACM, for instance. You got your group here, encourage people in other parts of the world to put their group together there, have exchange programs for musicians and so on. So that when you go out to play and that, you can do several concerts. Work on ways of creating your own employment for yourself, you know. I mean, people are more interested, I mean, if they see you doing something, and you'd be surprised who would help you if you have a good idea, you know. If I think of the ACM, you know, in that period, the University of Chicago opened its doors to us and gave us like all of these different rooms to do our music in and so on like that. So this is a great opportunity for you as young improvisers. And you're here together where you can, you know, play with each other and do things together. And that's a valuable time also, because it doesn't always stay like that. I mean, you see, like what we're doing now is most of us are scattered out in different places and stuff like that. But because of the work that we did when we were all together, and we knew that we were rehearsing, you know, like every week or a certain amount of time doing that week, now it's easier to come together and put things, you know, together, and we remain in touch with each other. So we are doing things together. You know, I'd like to even do more. You know, I mean, I feel like the art ensemble's larger ensemble is only tapped just a little bit of what it's capable of. But to me, I mean, that's like coming together and studying all these different things and figuring out how they work, you know. Then you can have the freedom, you know. So if that's, you know, like I say, some nights you can do no wrong, and every night's not like that. So that's what I would say, you know. And yeah, do that, you know.
So how is the art ensemble organized, and how is the AACM organized? There's a director, or are more people working together? How would you say that?
I would say that it's, the ACM celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2005, I think it was, yeah, at with concerts all over the world, and also that long-standing exhibit there in Chicago at the MCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art, that opened in August and went through up to November. And there you were able to see several facets of the AACM in terms of compositions produced,